Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Max24, and the Square Enix E3 press conference just occurred, so let's talk about it. Before we get into that, please always remember to drop a like, comment, subscribe to the friends and all that, all the stuff us YouTubers tell you guys to do, all that stuff. Follow me on social media, all the links below. But the Square Enix press conference occurred, if you can call it a press conference. I really don't know what we just sat and watched. Not everybody needs a press conference. There was no reason Square Enix needed to have a press conference. Square Enix, if you have nothing to show, don't have a press conference. So what exactly do they talk about? Well, they start off the show pretty strong, actually. They announced a brand new Marvel game that I am very intrigued by. The Guardians of the Galaxy video game. It's going to be a single-player, story-driven video game. Third-person action-adventure also, I should add that. Coming out October 26, 2021. It actually looks very intriguing, alright? I love me some Marvel. I've always been a Marvel fanboy. I'll buy all the Marvel stuff I can. So more Marvel games, I'm here for. I'm always here for more Marvel games. And this one looks like it's a decent time, alright? It looks like you kind of choose what happens, you know, and characters will remember that, kind of like a trust building, kind of like what Mass Effect and like BioWare does. It's going to be like, oh, Rocket will remember that choice. Things like that. And that looks really cool to me. And the whole Guardians cast, they all look really nice. They're all based on the comic books, not the movies. So before you start judging their looks, they're not based on the MCU looks. But they look all really intriguing. And I think the game has potential. I don't know if this was just a stream or not, but some of the combat looked a little laggy. It looked like it was dropping frames. But overall, it looked really good, I think. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to see reviews. I can't wait to see more about this game. I want them to talk more about this. And then that was pretty much it, I guess. They talked about Marvel's Avengers, you know, the game that came out last year to mixed reception, that they promised a lot of characters, and so far we haven't seen a lot of them, and there's a lot of content just missing from the game. The combat's great in that game, alright, and the single-player story is great, and the expansions, updates have been great, but it's not enough to keep people to play. Well, this was their chance to set the record straight, tell us what was coming, especially for like Spider-Man fans, people who bought it on PlayStation expecting Spider-Man, because Spider-Man was going to be exclusive. No word on Spider-Man yet. No word on really anybody, anything that we didn't know already. Makes me think they are coming close to pulling the plug. I mean, I was expecting them to be pulling the plug at any point on this game, and it makes me think that they're coming close to that, because all they talked about was what we already know. The 2021 roadmap they gave us earlier in the year. They showed off a little bit of clips from the first big updates, and then a little clip from War for Wakanda, which is the big expansion. We didn't get to see any gameplay for War for Wakanda. We didn't get to see Black Panther in action, which is what we would have liked as Marvel's Avengers fans, to see Black Panther and how he plays and his role and his combat and his abilities. That would have been what they should have shown off. But no, just a quick little story trailer. Oh my gosh, Claw is attacking Wakanda. Oh no. And then the two other update videos, they didn't do anything to excite you. They're just like, oh, we're adding patrol modes. Oh my gosh, randomized replayable boss fights. That should have been in the game from day one, Square Enix. What the heck? They didn't tell us anything more from that. Just those three things we already knew were coming. And then next thing, they showed off a bunch of their mobile games. That was like a big part of it. They, you know, got a Hitman Sniper mobile game, got Nier Reincarnation, which is a Nier mobile game, got a bunch of Final Fantasy mobile games, got mobile games. Anybody want mobile games? You guys got phones? Mobile games. Everybody loves mobile games, right? And then and then they talked about Life is Strange and showed off the Life is Strange remaster, which looks really nice. I love Life is Strange. I think it looks really nice. They showed off Life is Strange Remaster before the Storm Remaster, and then they showed off a little bit more of True Colors. They really didn't give us any more new information that we didn't already know. They just reiterated the power she has, that Alex has empathy powers, and they reiterated what that's going to look like and what the gameplay is going to look like. Nothing new there, though. Nothing new on that front. So it just felt like they were rehashing content they already told us. Like, that was it. And then the rest of the press conference seemed to be pretty much devoted to Final Fantasy. Pretty much every single game was Final Fantasy. You want some Final Fantasy? You got some Final Fantasy. You want Final Fantasy cereal? You got Final Fantasy cereal. You want a Final Fantasy toilet paper? You got Final Fantasy toilet paper. It's like they were throwing the Final Fantasy name out on everything, alright? We got Final Fantasy mobile games. We got Final Fantasy ports. We got Final Fantasy made by Origins, made by somebody else, Team Ninja. We got Final Fantasy over here, Final Fantasy over there, so much Final Fantasy. And then they showed off a trailer for Babylon's Fall, which people were looking forward to, the new Platinum Games. Didn't really show off much of that before they went on to more Final Fantasy. It was pretty much all Final Fantasy. You could have called this the Final Fantasy press conference. But they didn't show us, like, any new stuff, any things we didn't already know. Like, the only big announcement was the Guardians of the Galaxy game. Other than that, it was nothing. I don't get it. All right, Square Enix, you didn't have to have a press conference. Nobody forced you to have a press conference. Square Enix, you could have just left. Where was Tomb Raider? No Tomb Raider news. What the heck happened there? There was no any other, like, you probably got other IPs in there. I don't know. I just know you own Tomb Raider. I don't know what else you own. But you own more than Final Fantasy, Square Enix. You didn't have to throw out Final Fantasy 20 million times. You own more than that. I hope you know that. All right. Someone should go tell them that they do own more than Final Fantasy, because I don't think they know. I really don't. I think they think all they have is JRPGs and Final Fantasy. Square Enix, you have more than that, buddy. It's okay. Next year, how about we don't have a press conference, all right? Let's not have a press conference. Let's just give, like, Xbox or Nintendo or somebody your announcements. Just be like, here, I just add them to the show. Because you don't need to have your own press conference, Square Enix. Nobody's telling you need to have it. Nobody is. But let me know if you're excited for anything that they talked about. What did they talk about? If you're excited for any of the games they showed, I don't know what games they really showed off either, but if you're excited about anything that Square Enix is making in the near future, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you thought about their press conference. I did not like it, as you could tell. If you liked it, that's your call, right? I think it was better than Gearbox, at least. Because at least they brought more games. I don't know what Gearbox was doing. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Next up is the PC Gaming Show. We'll be making a video on that. And then Tuesday's Nintendo. I don't know if there's anything Monday. There's probably something Monday. So expect videos there every for all of E3. E3 is almost over. We're almost done. Our next big thing after E3 is Sony's State of Play in July. And I think EA. EA's thing is in July. We don't know when Sony's State of Play is. EA's doing their thing in July.